Studies show that over 60% of people experiencing emotional pain actively hide it from the people closest to them, not strangers, not acquaintances. The people sitting at their dinner tables. Most assume this is avoidance. Most assume this is coldness, but you're not most people. You go quiet for a reason nobody around you has ever thought to ask about, and today, that reason finally has a name. You weren't always like this. There was a version of you younger, softer, less armored who reached out when something hurt. Who said, "I'm sad" out loud without measuring the weight of those words first. Who cried and let someone see it. That child existed. You were that child. But somewhere between then and now, something happened. Not one dramatic moment. A quiet accumulation of moments where reaching out didn't work, where your pain was minimized, redirected, or simply met with silence heavier than your own. So you adapted. You learned to carry it differently inward, invisible, alone. Not because you wanted to, because it was safer. And here's what nobody tells you about that adaptation. It didn't make you broken. It made you precise. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, one of the world's leading trauma researchers, spent decades studying how the body responds when emotional expression isn't safe. In his landmark work, he found that when a person's emotional bids, those small moments of reaching out for connection, are consistently unmet in childhood, the nervous system doesn't give up on connection. It reorganizes around it. It learns to protect the wound rather than expose it. What looks like shutting down from the outside is, neurologically, the most sophisticated self-preservation system your brain could build. You didn't become closed. You became careful. And that carefulness has a childhood address. Think back. Maybe it was a parent who responded to your tears with frustration rather than comfort. Maybe it was a home where emotions were treated like inconveniences, things to be managed, not witnessed. Maybe you learned early that expressing pain created more chaos than relief, that your sadness made someone else's anger worse, that your fear made someone else feel helpless, and their helplessness made you feel guilty. So your younger self made a decision quietly, without words, to stop being the source of disruption, to hold it, to handle it, to disappear into competence so no one had to worry. It's not a flaw. It's a blueprint your younger self drew to survive. But here's the tension nobody wants to sit with, and this is where cheap validation content would look away. That blueprint, built for a house that no longer exists, sometimes runs your current relationships into the ground. Research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that emotional withdrawal, even when internally motivated by self-protection, is consistently interpreted by partners and loved ones as rejection. The person you love most may be reading your silence as indifference when it is, in fact, the opposite. Your quietness is proximity in disguise, but they can't see inside the disguise. And that gap between what you feel and what they perceive can grow into distance that feels impossible to cross. That's the cost. The real one, not weakness, distance. But here's what a 2021 study from the University of Rochester found, and this is the part that changes things. People with high emotional self-containment score significantly higher on empathy measures than their more expressive counterparts. They are, statistically, more attuned to others' pain, more likely to notice the shift in someone's voice, the tension behind a smile, the thing someone isn't saying. Your nervous system trained to monitor emotional environments from a very young age. Age became extraordinarily sensitive to the interior worlds of the people around you. You see people deeply, more than they see themselves. That's not a side effect of your silence. That's its secret dividend. Society has a word for what you are. Several, actually. Distant, hard to read, emotionally unavailable, cold. These words were invented by people who never had to build the walls you built, and who therefore never understood that walls aren't the opposite of warmth, sometimes they're the container for it. The real word for what you are is not distant. The real word is protected, and protection is not the enemy of love. It is, for many of you, the only form of love your early life taught you was safe to offer. So this is for the one who still believes that needing silence means something is wrong with you. The one who lies awake replaying the conversation you didn't have, the feeling you didn't name, The moment you smiled and said, "I'm fine," when you were anything but. There is nothing wrong with you. The way you hold your pain is not a character flaw, it is a survival strategy that outlived the war it was built for. And the fact that you're watching this, the fact that you searched for this, means some part of you is ready to let someone in. Not everyone, not all at once, but someone. That is enough. That is the beginning. You don't have to perform your pain to prove it's real. Drop a heart in the comments if this was you.